Hello, 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 and welcome everyone. How is everyone doing on this lovely Wednesday night? And welcome to a special edition of 27 Outs. As always, I am Ivan alongside my baseball partner in crime here, Stefan. We have a special guest on the show here today, folks. As you guys can tell by the title of today's video, we have a reporter in the building. We have Julian Guilarte, who, by the way, he covers the game at both the major league level as well as the minor league level. You can find some of his work over at Latino Sports.
Mm-hmm.
He also does some work with the World Baseball Network,
Yep.
and you got to save the you gotta save. I almost forgot what I was gonna say.
The best
The
for
best for
last.
last. Sorry, Julian. He's also the host of the Julian Guilarte Show, which you can
Yes.
find the link to down below in the description, along with his Instagram. A lot to say there, Julian. But of course, you're a busy guy, right? Which is why we needed a few extra minutes here tonight. But Julian, welcome to the show.
Thank you guys so much and for the nice intro. Cause yeah, I'm a lot of stuff going on like that. Trying to condense some of that and see how we will go into the year. I'll keep you guys posted. So right now is a hectic time as I'm trying to see how the season's gonna look with less than 2 months. Hopefully gonna get some bigger roles and try to expand the game a little bit. That's why you see me pushing the Guilarte show more, because I kind of started that in the playoffs a little bit, like towards the playoff run for the Yankees. And I kind of started the offseason. That's gained some traction with that. I kind of just built the channel off shorts in the beginning just to get like a base on it. And then I started doing more show stuff. So I'm happy that I'm building the community a little bit. There's definitely still more work to do. And like you guys said, Latino and WBN is my writing and game coverage. So that's why it's like 3 things at once, which is why I feel like I can never put my head in the pillow. But I'm trying my best to maintain. So I'm happy to talk ball with you guys and looking forward to getting into some good Yankees discussions and whatever else you guys have in your heads.
All right, so I gotta ask because you started with the Yankees. So, Aaron Boone did say today in his initial press conference that there were no major injuries with the team and things like that. So, what is your biggest? I guess my question is twofold. What is your biggest concern with this Yankee team, and also what are you most optimistic about? What can we look forward to that we haven't really looked at, or we haven't took the time to do a deep dive on? What is something that we should be looking forward to that we haven't really talked about yet?
Okay, so I'll go positive first because, like, I haven't loved the offseason. I'm not really a fan of the run back, but I'll save that for after I say what's good. What's good is that, like, Garrett is going to return, and, like, the starting rotation is going to be incredible if you have them all on the field at the same time. It'll definitely be one of the best rotations in baseball. The lineup during the regular season will be great. I still think it's going to be fine. I mean, you have a lot of pop. Judge is still a stud. Chisholm could still be better a little bit. Ben Bryce might take a step up. Austin Wells, I think you have more in the tank. What are you going to get? A Colt Caballero and Volpe might be a little questionable. I think the third base platoon of Rosario and McMahon might work out okay because Rosario hits lefties so well. And then, like, you look into the outfield, Cody Bellinger should be solid. I think it's a decent move. Like, I wasn't enamored with it. I wasn't really against it so much. It was like a neutral move to me. Trent Grisham's a little questionable to me for the money now. Can he do what he did last year? We'll have to see about that. But it is still a good lineup and rotation. My biggest concerns would be the bullpen and the bench, probably, I would say. And then, like, are these guys going to be able to finally get it together in October instead of just in the regular season? Those would be my big 3 things. Because it's the exact same lineup as last year, which is I don't love because I wanted to see a little tweak somewhere just for October purposes, honestly. But they're going to run it back, and we'll see. So that's kind of my synopsis. But I still think they're in a pretty good spot. Let's say they add the deadline to another bat or something, or a bullpen arm, they'll be fine. I mean, I think it'll be a very good season. We'll just have to see how it looks in October.
I'm glad how you started that there, Julian. And Stefan, I'm gonna put you on the spot here, but in a good way, bro. Because also the chat is gonna be aware of what I'm about to bring to your attention. But I'm somebody, and I also heard you mention the rotation, Cole coming back, of course, as we all know. I've told Stefan this for some time now. This, because I'm a Yankee fan, right? So I always believe that with the rotation and what it could possibly look like with all of these guys being healthy. Now I know that's asking for a lot, right?
Yeah, that's the only concern with it. But yeah,
Hence why a lot of teams have 6, 7 starters. Some even go into double digits at certain points.
yeah,
But I had always thought that 2026 would be their final shot at seriously competing for a World Series. But I also mentioned Stefan and putting him on the spot because he has sat here many times and said, yo, I think their final appearance in 2024 against the Dodgers was the last shot. What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree, or do you believe that they could possibly strike lightning in a bottle with the rotation?
Okay, I can see both sides of this argument. Honestly, this is a very good question. So I'll lean into your side first, but then I'll give him his side too. So, like, yes, the Yankees could very well make the World Series this year. Obviously, they're want to be one of the better. They could be a top 3 team in the American League, a top 4. You look at the Blue Jays again. I like what the Tigers did a lot now, especially adding the extra juice with Verlander, even just for the vibes. The Mariners getting Brendan Donovan, even though they lost Polanco and Suarez, they have some prospects and their pitching's still pretty good. And they went far last year. Boston will probably be pesky still. So, like, yeah, there's a path for the Yankees to make the World Series. Now, the issue is if they play LA again, I don't know how confident I am in that situation, but eventually someone has to beat me with hope. It's just that they got better and better with Tucker and Diaz, so it's going to be a tough out, even if the Yankees do get back, and it is them. I think the best hope would be that someone picks the Dodgers off and then the Yankees beat another team in the World Series. That would probably be the best route to do it, to me. Not that they can't beat the Dodgers, but that's not an easy way to do it, obviously. But it could be the last shot as well. I mean, the window's getting smaller. You have some contracts that are questionable, although some money will be coming off the books. Aaron Judge is still in his prime, obviously, and still could put together a great season, I think. But that window is closing at 34. Garrett's 36 now. G's up there, too, and his contract's getting low. So do you reshuffle that? I mean, there's definitely a lot of situations that could make it seem that way, but I think could be because of the work stoppage, unfortunately. This might be the last legit run because you don't know what's going to happen in 27 if things get really bad. And then who knows what happens after that if that's how things go. So, yeah, I mean, this could be the best shot for a while. Who knows, honestly. But I think there is a chance this year, obviously. I do. I won't dismiss it.
See, you're nicer than me, Julian, because I this is where I sit with them, and you're laughing already, Ivan.
I'm like, here comes the Grinch.
No, I might agree with some of it too, so I'm interested to hear.
It comes with this, right? You just mentioned the age, Garrett Cole's aging, Aaron Judge's aging.
Yeah,
the rotation has injury concerns. Like, we've been through this mountain. Giancarlo Stanton, if he plays 70 games, I think we should all sign up for that and thank the heavens above that we got 70 games out of him. But the reality of it is this. I don't think the Yankees are one of the top 4 teams in the American League to me. I think the Tigers are a bit better. I think Seattle's a bit better. I think if you look at, to me right now, if you look at even Toronto is better than that.
It's fair.
Right? So we're sitting here saying, you know what? Hey, maybe it's we're just hoping, we're optimistic as New Yorkers and people that want to see, because I'm a Yankee fan as well. But the one thing I will say is
it's all good. I get it.
I'm not as optimistic as Ivan, and the reason why I say the 24 was your window is because Soto, you don't have anybody like Soto in this lineup. Judge is great.
True. You're 100% correct, and I've said that. I'll give you that point. I will give you that.
Judge is great. I like Cody Bellinger, not a needle mover, but okay, I understand why you did it. Defensive versatility, left-handed, I get it.
I feel you.
You mentioned the bullpen. We haven't even gotten to that point yet. Like, does somebody like a Carlos LaGrange emerge? Do they have pieces down there that you can go to and say, okay, this is where we are, right? I look at 4 other teams in the American League, and I'm like, you're better. Right now, you're better. I just listed. The Tigers, to me, are better.
I like the Tigers a lot. I really
do. I like the Mariners a little bit better. I like Toronto a little bit better. Right? And I know the Orioles are going to have trouble pitching, but to me, if you look at the Orioles lineup on paper, I would probably take the Orioles lineup over that Yankee lineup right now.
I'm not 100% on that, but I can see your point. They have a more upside than the Yankees lineup, in fairness to you. I get it.
Yeah, it's and that's what I'm saying. The upside play to me gives you more of a window, right? Where the Yankee lineup, if everything doesn't go according to plan,
it's done. Yeah,
this season might be a complete and utter disaster.
It's possible, yeah. I mean, we saw what happened in 23 with Judge when he goes down. Something like that, for instance, it would be a disaster if that happens, obviously. They can't withstand that, obviously. But not many teams can withstand players like that getting hurt. But the Yankees' depth, the bench is a little bit clunky. I didn't like the Goldschmidt move, I'll be honest. I thought it was unnecessary and redundant. Like, I wanted something better on the bench. I just don't think that was a smart move. I don't even care if it was only $4 million. I just think now you have a clunky bench with you have a fourth outfielder, a first baseman, a catcher, a platoon third baseman, but like you might want to send the outfielder down because you don't want to play him against lefties. So how is that going to work? And then you have Volpe coming back at some point that'll clog the bench more. And then Oswaldo's still in the mix as well. Don't forget about him. He might start in AAA. Is he your fourth outfielder on opening day? I don't know. Maybe if he's ready, I guess. But like, do you really want that as much as Dominguez playing? I'm not sure. As much as I like Waldo, and I just was with him recently, but taking that out of the equation, I mean,
right,
got to think about a few things here.
So I'm gonna double up real quick, Ivan, and then I'll let you get your next question off. My double up would be to you, or my follow up rather would be, if we already have these questions about this team and spring training just started officially today. Today was the first day of report. Everybody reported. Yeah. It's like, you don't get better with age. You get older, slower, and more injured.
Yeah.
The Paul Goldschmidt move, I didn't get it. I hate it. I'm gonna be honest. If you were gonna do something, I wanted Miguel Andujar. If you were gonna do that, Miguel Andujar makes more sense to me. Slater, I'm not really a fan of, so I can see why they didn't go that way.
That's fine with me too.
I will say this.
Go ahead.
They have to figure out what they're doing with both of these outfielders and Dominguez and Jones.
Yeah.
Because right now, both of them don't have spots with this team, and I'm surprised they weren't traded for something in the offseason of value. Because to me, Ivan will tell you, you can never have enough pitching. Never, ever, 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 ever. I don't care if you're going into spring training with 12 arms. 5 of those arms are going to get hurt.
No, you're 100% correct, yeah.
5 of those arms are going to get hurt, and the other 7 that are left, 2 are not going to make it, and the 5 you got might not make it through the full year.
I agree with you, actually, on a lot of that stuff. So here's the thing. I like some shots. Let's give Carlos Agrande some love. Definitely a big fan of his, and I think he could make this team at some point in the season, whether it's a starter or a bullpen, depending on how things go. Elmer Rodriguez definitely going to make his debut this year, as long as he stays in New York, which I think he will, because they put him on the 40-man. A lot of times when the Yankees do that, they don't trade those guys. You notice they trade off their 40 guys or guys like in the Rule 5 area that they don't want to protect. So I would be surprised if Rodriguez gets traded. Ben Hess could be up for grabs, so they were very willing to give him up for Cabrera, but that didn't happen. They got Weathers instead. And I think Weathers has upside again, but he's a huge gamble, massive gamble. He has never been healthy. Yeah. But when he's healthy, he's good, but that's a big if. But I do like him when he's on the mound. So I think if they can keep him upright and get like 100+ innings, that's a win. If he gets like 100 innings, I think they would, or 115 innings, they'd probably take that at this point, or like even 125. Like, I mean, but they don't need him to play that long, really, if you think about it, because like if they've shuffled things correctly and Rodon and Cole come back, he doesn't have to stay in the rotation that long. So, I mean, as long as he can be upright in the beginning, and then maybe they slide to the bullpen because the bullpen needs help. So maybe he ends up being a long man or something. But so we'll have to see. Maybe they could preserve him better that way. So, yeah, I think you can look at the pitching depth. There's a problem right now with the injuries. I would not have minded an external addition, and I would have liked a big fish. But, like, Peralta was not a trade the Yankees could make with their prospect pool. They couldn't match what the Mets did. Edwin Cabrera, maybe there was some leeway there, but they probably had to give up more than they were willing to there, too. Mackenzie Gore, I'm good on passing. I didn't love that fit so much. Could they have signed? There was one free agent pitcher I was interested in. Imai could have been worth it because that wasn't that much money. That would have been the guy I would have maybe given a shot. That wasn't even that big of a commitment, really. That might have been worth the flyer there. That was probably the one I would say was really a whiff, maybe. They were never going to get Valdez, obviously. Michael King, they weren't as interested as we thought. There was another guy too, I think, but obviously not Cease.
They weren't on Dylan Cease, but I know Michael King was somebody they had interest in. And Ivan, if you remember correctly, I had come on here and I thought Imai was a real target for them. And
me too, for a bit, yeah.
When we saw the contract, I came on here. Ivan, you can speak to this. I was perplexed when we saw the numbers. Me and him looked at each other and went, "How do you not do that? How do the Mets not do that? Forget about the Yankees for a second. How did the Mets not do that with the pitching questions they had before you traded for Peralta? How do you not sign a guy that's barely making what is he making? $18 million a year?
Yeah, nothing now. I mean, they didn't. I guess they didn't. They weren't as enamored as Yamamoto. Obviously, I think they had questions of size and whatever, but still, like, it wasn't a lot of money. It would have been worth it. So now you look at this situation right now, and you have Elmer Rodriguez as your sixth, which I don't mind personally, but he might need a little more time in AAA. We don't know. We'll see him in WBC, but I think he's close to ready. Then you have. Yarbo would be an option too, but you're very thin after those two now because I don't know if Agrande is ready to be a starting pitcher as much as I like him. I'm not sure if he's ready to be a big league starting pitcher right now. Ben Hess, I don't think he's ready to be a big league starting pitcher just yet. Brendan Beck is a name. He's been in AAA. Does he got to look if something happens? I mean, sure, but I don't know if he's big league material either. So right now it is thin pickings. Like, will they sign a guy in case soon? Like, there are some options still. Like, is there a Giolito option maybe for depth purposes? Like, nothing that's going to be that inspiring at this point in the game because I doubt they'll get Zach Gallen, but he was a mess last year anyway. So they probably wouldn't want to pay what he's going to command.
Yeah, I know we just went through starting pitching, the bullpen as well. I want to go back to the bullpen quickly because listen, regardless of how some Yankee fans may feel about the two that went over to the Mets, speaking of Luke Weaver and, of course, Devin Williams, those are two losses, right? And when I look at the Yankees offseason, they made it as clear as day that they put all of their eggs into one basket, and that basket was Cody Bellinger. I don't really feel like they did much. Now, I know a lot of people would say, you got to trust Brian Cashman. He knows how to build
you actually don't really, if you're being honest.
Shown that for a couple of seasons. But I personally am not a guy who is going to run with that. Not when you just lost two guys who, when all is good, everybody wants those guys on their team, right?
Yeah, I think those losses are being overstated because some people are like, oh, now we're going to be better just because they're not around. Like, I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, although Luke Weaver was a big problem down the stretch after he was hurt, don't get me wrong. And Devin Williams had his bumps in the road, but, like, you didn't replace him with anyone really. Like, Cade Winquist is the guy that they picked up a lot of people like. Is Coleman a guy on a non-roster invite that breaks the team? I think he throws like 100. I think Hedrick could be decent, but, like, these are all unknowns for the most part. And then, like, there's a few other guys too. I'm trying to think, drawing blanks. Like, Duval has to come up big, obviously. Cruz is going to be solid. Jake Bird, can they turn around Jake Bird after the disaster last year? Bednar is going to be good. You know that. So Tim Hill is a reliable lefty. Yarbo could be okay in certain situations. The long man, sure. So, yeah, there's a lot of questions. Does Yerry Los Santos find himself back in the mix? I thought he was okay at times. So it's definitely questionable. I spoke about Kopech a lot. I don't know if they would do it, but there's some interest, and he's still a free agent. So I wouldn't mind taking a shot with him, but that's also a guy that's a flyer risk of injuries last year.
Yeah, here's the one thing I will say in terms of pushback, slight pushback. I don't disagree with all your points, but the one thing I will say about Brian Cashman is that guy knows how to build a bullpen.
Yeah, he does.
We may not see the vision right now. We may say, well, there's holes here.
Oh, you traded for the guy from Colorado, too. That's another one.
Oh, yeah. Like everybody says, Cashman knows how to build a bullpen. The question is,
that's true.
Can you get enough from now to when the trade deadline is, or even before the trade deadline, with the current bullpen you have? Listen,
I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't mind losing Devin Williams or Luke Weaver. That I'm fine. I was over that experiment. I hope
Okay,
they're better in Queens.
that's fair.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that they were, it was all their fault because the defense failed them at points last year, and
Yeah,
there
both.
was a bunch of stuff that happened that. But look, he's one of the GMs around the game that he knows how to build a pen, and when he decides I'm gonna go for it, whatever it may be, he usually comes up with something that we weren't expecting. So while I understand there might be questions about him and his performance and how fit is he for the job still, he's I think we need to like kind of let this breathe, let the season play out and see what's down there in the system, because there might be something down there that we're not all privy to at the
Oh, I do
moment.
have one name that's worth paying attention to, actually.
Yeah,
Speaking of that,
who you got?
pay attention to Harrison Cohen. He's
I've heard.
pitching.
I've
He's
heard.
pitching for Israel in the WBC. I feel like he's very close to big league ready. He's 26 years old. Like, I don't know what else he has to do in the minors. They might as well see what he could do.
Yeah.
They didn't add him to the 40 though. They're lucky he went unprotected. He kind of reminds me of Tommy Kahnle a little bit. I don't know if obviously I'm not going to say he's going to be quite as good, but the way he throws the ball, like some of the mannerisms are similar if you watch him. But like, I could see him being one of those dudes you're talking about. I would like to see him get a shot.
All right, cool.
I got one last Yankee question, Stefan. Before, if you guys want to move on to anything else.
I want to go around the game. Yeah.
So recently, IKF, and I think this was a case of right message, wrong messenger, because I think it could have been anybody else on the Blue Jays that said this, and it would have came off better. But IKF, he comes out and he basically not only spoke for himself, but I would say on behalf of the Blue Jays, right? And he said that they were pretty happy about the fact that it was the Yankees who took out the Red Sox and not the other way around. So that's now 2 straight years of teams who took out the Yankees, because the Dodgers did the same, right? I don't know if you remember, Julian, but remember they were like, listen, we had like this game plan and we stuck to it and it worked out. Isn't it kind of crazy how the Yankees are now a team that, believe it or not, a lot of these other teams in contention are now laughing at,
Bro, I have to say this too. To be honest, the evil empire shit is dead. Like, no cap. Like, the evil empire is destroyed. They haven't won a championship in 16 years. No one fears the Yankees anymore. They keep getting embarrassed in the playoffs in their own stadium. Teams are mocking them, like you said. And it's getting to be it's like annual October tradition to go down in your own stadium, basically. Like, it's just getting to be a lot. Before the Astros mishap, and that's not even to mention the Astros mishaps and all the other things that have taken place even outside of Yankee Stadium. Like, Boston eliminated them at home, Toronto eliminated them at home, the Dodgers eliminated them at home. Yeah. The Astros have done it before. Like, it's just been so many different times now. Like, people used to be afraid of going to Yankee Stadium in October, but that's not a thing anymore, unfortunately. But they need to get back to themselves and find a way to get that together. But yeah, I feel like you're right about that. If anyone else but IKF said it, probably would have gone over better. Because, like, the Blue Jays owned the Yankees last year. Let's just call it spade a spade. Like, I understand why they weren't worried about it. Mm-hmm. So, and the Red Sox gave them a tougher time. But, yeah, it's definitely a changing of the guard. And it's definitely something that they have to figure out. And, like, to your point, Stefan, I understand why you'd be upset. They keep doing the same things over and over again, like the same management, same GM, like the same exact structure, and it keeps failing in October every year. So I can see why the glass is half empty for you. I get it, and I'm like in some of that boat as well. Mm-hmm. But like, they are still good enough to make the World Series. I just don't know if they will break through into it. Obviously, it's not a guarantee, but like they could do it. Obviously, anyone could.
So what I would see when I look around the game, though, right? Let's just go around the game for a second, right? Because to me, you know what I'd rather be? And this is me. I'm speaking for me. I'm not speaking for you, Ivan. I think I'd rather be a team like the Orioles, which much more upside. They're younger positionally. They're not perfect by any stretch because the rotation still needs to be figured out to some degree. But I think I like the lineup. By the way, that Jackson Holly injury is really, really big to me.
Yeah, it is.
I think you can't overstate how important that kid is going into this was going to be his second full season, third year in the big leagues, but second full year. I think the more you get repetition and the more you play and the more you allow yourself to say, hey, this is what I'm going to be every day, that's really important to a player's growth, the maturation, the maturity. And it's just when I saw that news, my heart kind of sank because I'm like, man, like, can we get all these young players on the field injury free at the same time and really see what it looks like? I like the Orioles offensively. I would go there. I like Seattle a little bit more in terms of the overall team. Like, I think there's teams in both the National League and the American League that make me go, are the Yankees even worth watching if you're not even in New York? Like, that's what I'm saying. There's so much around the game that's even more competitive. Like, I want to see Seattle run it back. I want to see Toronto run it back. I want to see, honestly, I even want to see what the Astros do with this new current crowd. You got Imai down there. You got, what do they do with a guy like Alvarez, Yordan Alvarez? Do they trade him? Like, there's a lot more around the game than just what's happening with the Yankees right now.
Yeah, it's like the Yankees don't run the game anymore, like you said.
No.
It's not like it once was when they were winning the championships in the dynasties and they were the best team, spending the most money. Like the Dodgers spend more and the Mets spend more now. I think the Yankees did pass the Blue Jays in payroll, but that was an accident because they didn't get Kyle Tucker or Bo Bichette. Like the Blue Jays were definitely going to have a higher payroll if Tucker took the money, but he didn't. So the Yankees, like another thing that's kind of stuck and a little bit disheartening to me is like, the payroll is close to $340 million, and the team barely got any better. Like they didn't do much to improve it, but it went up a little bit, and only because they paid Grisham and Bellinger more. Basically, Weathers doesn't make any money. Like they didn't add anything big, really. That they didn't have already. That too, yes, they are.
They're still paying DJ LeMahieu, right?
Yes, this is the last year of that.
Wow.
So one more year of that.
Yeah. I could see where people say, "Well, God forgive me," but. It's why, like, when Michael K talks, it's like bleeding of the ears. Oh, well, they're in the top 5 in payroll every year, and you're in this.
They are, yeah.
It's like, okay, you're in the top 5 in payroll, but what does it really matter when DJ is not with the team? Giancarlo's barely playable when he's not hurt.
Right, it's like, bad money spent. Yes.
What are we talking about? You gave the Trent Grisham thing. I was like, you telling me you couldn't find a resource somewhere better than that? And I love the whole, with this new strikeout system, he's going to read the ball better and he's not going to strike out as much and his numbers might be more prolific. I got news for you. I'm going to make a joke. I want prolific legs, but that ain't going to happen. So let's understand he's going to be as prolific as you allow him to be. And what I saw in center field last year, I'm kind of like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm over it. Like,
I got it.
35 home runs is nice. Yes. But was it me?
Yeah, I feel the same way in a sense because he finished the season so poorly and he was terrible in October. And like, I don't want to see him lead off again, really. Like, I want to see something different with that. His defense, it declined. I would just push back to maybe it was a hamstring issue. We'll have to see if he's healthy this year and plays better out there. That's the one defense I'll give with that. But like, the offense, I mean, some stuff showed he could do it again, but we have to actually see him do it. It was an aberration of the year. He's never done anything close to it before. It could be a one-off, but the only good news is that they're not locked up into it if it is a one-off, and they can cut bait after the season at least. So it's not catastrophic. It just might not be ideal. And that's fair to think that way, and I kind of understand that because could you have allocated that money better on? I was talking to Hembo about this because he came on. I think you probably saw. But,
I was watching the interview. Yeah.
He actually went through the same thing. He's like, I think things changed when he took the qualifying offer, and could they have allocated that with like righty bats or more bullpen arms? Maybe. Could you have given Dominguez or Jones that shot you wanted to? Perhaps. I mean, now they're kind of in no man's land, and you brought up trading them before, but I don't know what you're trading them for. That's the problem. Like, I don't see the trade out there for them right now. Like, I don't see the path, but eventually someone will come calling for them. Probably, I'm sure they have already. They're probably lowballing offers because they understand the crowded outfield situation. But like one of them should probably stick because Grisham's only around for a year. So I don't know. That's going to be interesting.
So that's a good point. Like, I think Jones is the guy that sticks. Because I think Jason is.
It might be, unfortunately. I was hoping Dominguez would stick, but
me too. But I just feels like it's not gonna happen. We're gonna hit you with some rapid fire around the game questions, Ivan. I got a few. I got a few. You got
fun.
with everything happening with this high made bone situation, have you ever seen this many high made bone injuries before the start of a season? Because I didn't know what the high made bone was until like a couple years ago.
No, I haven't. It reminds me of like the Tommy John pandemic right now.
Oh
We
my
have
god!
Corbin Carroll, Holiday, and with Francisco Lindor. And the only time I knew of it was when you were talking about, I think, is when it happened to Andrew Benintendi. That was the first time I heard of it. And then, but that's like a brutal injury too. Like, and then David Stearns, like, he'll be back in 6 weeks. He's not going to be back in 6 weeks. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, that's just not true. And I said that yesterday. I'm like, this is not true. And I dropped a little podcast snippet yesterday. But like, yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know what's going on with that. Are they swaying too hard? Are they training wrong? Like, I don't know. I don't have an answer there. That's weird, especially to do it in the off season. Unless it was like wear and tear during the season and they realize and they aggravate. I don't know.
So with this, because you mentioned a couple of guys, right? And one that really stands out, Corbin Carroll, of course, but also the Lindor one, right? I know we were just talking about the Yankees, but with this coming out about Lindor, is this, listen, not one thing always has to do with another. So I don't want to be painted as a guy like, yo, he's out here spreading narratives, but I do think that it is worthy of a discussion, right? And chat, let us know how you guys feel. Do you think this was something that literally happened from one day to the next with Lindor? Or perhaps do you believe it was a part of the behind the scenes stuff that went on with him not playing for Puerto Rico in the WBC?
Wow. I mean, I tried to figure that out yesterday. We were talking about this in length. Me and my co-host Jared and our friend Dan Bartels we have, who does like New York Post work for Mets, like social media or whatever. But like, I don't fully know, to be honest with you. I'm very surprised by the news, obviously. I think it could have, he already had an elbow cleanup as well before that was even a thing. And then Puerto Rico got Correa denied. And I know you guys wanted to talk about this, so we could. Bias for a drug test for some weird reason. And then it just didn't really materialize for them. Like Springer turned them down. Like Riley Green could have went. He didn't want to do it. Now he might fill in for Corbin Carroll, who's also going to miss the WBC because of the hamate now. So that's funny how that all connects. And then I don't know, honestly. Like I can't give you a straight answer, but maybe I'll say maybe, but I can't like fully pinpoint that. That was a weird situation.
So I can give you some more clarification on that because I was talking to somebody with them earlier today, and the thing that they texted me and they said was like, this is not a new thing. He's been dealing with this for the last year and a half.
The hamate?
Yeah, and he's been trying to play through it for the last year and a half.
Ouch.
The thing about that is like, I wonder if that contributes to the elbow. I wonder if it contributes to other things you're trying to do on the field because you're trying to compensate for one injury over the other. The other thing that I asked him was he ever going to play in the Classic even though he wanted to? Was that ever something that was on the table? Or was he just trying to play the good guy of, listen, I'm trying. They wouldn't insure me because of injuries and past injuries.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But I wonder if he knew, and this is the answer I asked the person, I wonder if he knew in his heart of hearts, listen, playing was going to be impossible. Number one, because I couldn't get insured. Number two, I'm dealing with a bunch of different things, and we're not even talking about the back that he dealt with towards the end of last.
That's another element as well. Yeah, so now we understand why he's not playing, obviously, with all this stuff going on. But
you know what I'm saying? So, and the person said to me, "Listen, it's not an easy decision, right? It's not something that we take lightly. We know he wanted to play, but when you got Steve Cohen and you got the front office going, listen, Frankie, this is not a good idea. We understand why you want to do this, but it just doesn't make sense for the future of the franchise as well as for yourself. Because if you go out there in the Classic and you get one big swing off because it's high intensity baseball and this thing completely implodes, there goes the first 2 months of the season right there.
And they already had the situation with Edwin Diaz, so like, boy. I can feel like I think Francisco Lindor loves Puerto Rico and like he goes there all the time and stuff when he was born and obviously and everything else. But like I think that he did really want to play, but he probably knew deep down it wasn't going to happen. All that stuff going on, I would have to imagine. But I don't think he was trying to just publicly say it to look like a good guy. I think like his intentions were fine, but like it was just a tough situation for him. But we'll have to see how it all develops. Hopefully, he can get back sooner rather than later. The Mets are probably going to miss him in the beginning, I would assume. So that's not great either way. But yeah, that's the whole WBC thing's a whole mess. Like trying to dissect on these weekly podcasts I've been doing the last few weeks, like Pool A, Pool B, and then CD, and then the 5-hour things. But like, yeah, it's been interesting. The insurance debacle has been really brutal. I hope they fix it for 2029.
So
I a quick question and you could get right into it, Stefan. Are you gonna be at any of these WBC games, Julian, or?
Yes, I am going to be in Puerto Rico, so I will be down in Pool A in Puerto Rico.
Wow,
that's dope. Wow.
I don't know if everyone fully knows yet, but yes, I told some people quietly. I haven't fully came out and said it yet, but like I've talked about it and hinted at it. But yeah, I will be there in Puerto Rico.
Hold on, you just broke some news on the show right here, man.
A little bit, yeah.
Hold on, wait, man. That's so. I gotta ask because we see you all. I see you all over the place. You're at the winter meetings. You're all over the place. I gotta ask a fun one because we're gonna get back to the classic and all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
you have been a part of those Scott Boras press scrums at the winter meetings.
I have.
What is that like? It sounds like a crazy experience. Please give me something. I'm dying to know.
Chaos, absolute chaos and madness. It's just a whirlwind. It's a rat race. Like you're just hoping you get the right angle to get like a picture, get like a video clip or whatever. This time, for the first time this year, I finally got to talk to him after the scrum, so that was better. Normally, I'd get him in the scrum for a few questions if I can. This year, I waited till after. He actually will talk to people after. The reason why I don't wait is because it takes so long, because so many people want to talk to him. I don't really have other stuff to do, but next year, whenever I go again, because the lockout, unfortunately, I'm really going to try to slow play him, wait him out, so we can get like an interview or something, like a good interview with him, maybe. I think I'm ready finally after all this time. So that'll be my next play with the Boras scrum.
All right, but you got to have some competition because I'm going to be chasing you down for one of them interviews, brother. So,
yeah, Julian, I was going to say with the lockout that we're all waiting for, listen, you won't be able to go over there, but just know that the doors are open here, man. We could talk baseball.
Yeah,
speaking of the winter meetings, you were just at the most recent one. But I have more of a question, I guess, when it comes to like career, but also keeping it at the winter meetings. And this is a two-part question too. Okay. My first question being, how many winter meetings have you gone to? And then could you share, I guess, your craziest winter meeting story with us?
Okay, yeah. Here we go. All right, I'll try my best. There's two that stands out to me. But one that tops the other, obviously. You'll understand why. So I've been to 5. I've been to 3 credentials as media. One of them I should have, but I decided to wait so I didn't get the credentials. So my first one was not credentialed. I just had to see what was going on. So the craziest story to me is definitely Arson Judge still. Nothing will top Arson Judge for me ever. Probably the history of mankind for the winter meetings. That's an all-timer from John Heyman. And the best part about it is the context of what I was doing when it happened. It makes it even funnier. Mm-hmm. So I was with my co-host at the time. We were reading on the live or something. And then she was like, Arson Judge, John Heyman tweets out, Arson Judge appears heading to the Giants on our live feed. I was like, wait, what? I was like, wait, uh-oh. And then I was like, hold on, slow play a little bit. I was like, first of all, that's spelled wrong. And second of all, like, are we sure? Like, I wasn't fully buying it yet. But then, like, Susan Saucier, who's a Giant supporter, has to throw some gasoline on the fire. Of course, she's like, oh, the buzz is that Judge is going to the Giants in the lobby. And that wasn't even true at all. Like, she was just saying that because, like, everyone else was getting gravitated, like, with the Heyman tweet. And then it gets better because after that live feed that I did, guess what press conference I have to go to?
Who's that?
Aaron Boone's.
Holy
literally right at literally a few minutes after Heyman does that. So I was like, okay, like what the hell do I even do? I'm like, well, I'm not going to be the one to ask this question. Like someone else is going to ask this question. And then they did, and then he was like, I don't know anything other than you. I don't know anything different than you guys do. I was like, oh. I was like, oh. he's like, oh, I haven't heard anything yet. I'm like, oh, okay. And then like I just asked about some other stuff that wasn't as serious.
I'm gonna ask for confirmation of my own reporting, because at the time I was actually doing some reporting myself, because
okay.
I do a lot of freelance stuff, but I had heard from somebody earlier in the day that the buzz was he was closer to a decision, but nobody knew what the decision was, because he had snuck into the hotel.
He definitely did go there, by the way. I didn't see him, but that definitely did happen.
I had heard he was in the hotel and he was meeting with two teams at the time. He met with the Giants in the morning, and then he had a meeting scheduled with the Padres that night.
Yes,
which is what I had heard.
I heard the Padres threw 400 at
and then I had heard around like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night that the Padres had a 10-year deal for $365 at the time, was the first number I had heard. And then you start doing more digging, you reach out to more people, and then I got the full confirmation it was 10 at 400.
Yes, I did. That's true.
My question to you is, and I want to confirm if I have this correct, did it come down to a phone call between Judge and Steinbrenner, where Steinbrenner literally calls Judge and goes, listen, big boy, what do you want? Because I had reported that, but nobody else really confirmed whether that was a thing or not. And then I had heard, hey, no, this is real. Like, he called him, they were on the phone for a good little bit. So is there any rumor to that story at all? Because I had heard that, but I wasn't sure if it was true. I couldn't get it confirmed by somebody that was either there or with any of the camps.
That's valid, 100%. That's definitely a true thing. That's 100% how it went down.
Wow.
I heard the same exact stuff, and I've heard other people did say that that's what took. So here's the crazy thing about that. And then my story gets a little wilder because so everything kind of goes nuts in the lobby when that tweet happens. Then it's quiet, nothing.
Yes,
he does that. Literally nothing for a while. I'm like, you know what? He was probably wrong. I was like, this has happened before when he's made mistakes on stuff. He's not he's not passing. I actually do like him. Don't get me wrong, but he's not passing with no disrespect. Like, he's not 100% accurate. So he's close, but I was like, he's probably wrong. After it took a while, I'm like, okay, he's probably wrong. It's not. I'm like, and then I go to bed that night late, and then I wake up early for some reason. I don't know why, but West Coast time, you guys have to realize, I got the notification at it was late 5-ish, early 6 a.m. when I got the news he was coming back. So then I had to wake up and go to the other hotel with my co-host. I was like, we got to go, and the judge signed. She's like, no way. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, she's like, you're kidding. I'm like, no, I'm not. And then we have to go and all that.
So if I remember correctly, it was 6:30 New York time, which is 3:30 West Coast.
No. It was 6:30 my time.
Oh, wow.
You guys had, I think it was 9:30ish for you guys.
Okay, yeah.
8ish or late 8 o'clock hour for you guys.
I had heard that he'd made a decision in the middle of the night, but nobody can confirm what it was. And then I think it came down at about 9:30 New York time, which is 6:30. And it came from John Morosi of all people.
I was like,
wait, what?
And then Curry confirms that. I was like, yeah, we're good. Okay. Once Curry confirms it, I'm like, yeah, we good.
The whole night. So the whole night, Julian, I'm sitting at my desk and I'm going, I gotta find out where the hell this guy's going, because this is
that was one of the craziest. That was one of the craziest cycles in my life. Probably.
I've never
had a judge doing the tweet and him signing the next morning and everything around it, in the lobby and all that. Oh my god, that's my best one in meeting story by far. Nothing tops that one.
All right, since we're
it sounds like when I guess something crazy. And listen, I know that was the craziest story for you, but just when crazy things happen in general during that time, it kind of sounds like all of you guys spring into action the moment we all find out, right?
That's what I do, man. It's I'm always ready to go, kind of moments notice in most situations. And then it's always a crazy situation. It really is. And what's really funny is I saw Joel Sherman at the winter meetings the next year, and he was drunk in the bar and he was talking. But he's like, first of all, I had to, when John did that, I was like, oh my god. He's like, first of all, you spells it wrong. Second of all, that's not true. And he's like, I had to carry him. He's like, I had to carry him in so many times, like jokingly but not jokingly. It was so funny. He's like, I carry him. I'm like, oh my god, like, this is actually hysterical because he broke the solo tree, so he was like on the side horse, like, oh, I won the winter meetings. I broke the wild solo tree. I was like, yeah, I guess you kind of did. So I was like, oh man, like that's that's like my bow tie to that story.
That is insane. All right, so since you're on the ground, right, and we haven't been lucky enough to do this yet. This guy knows I stay up like a nut. I'm on the phone with everybody. You gotta try and get as close as you can. So I have a crazy reporter story for you, and you were there. So I need the confirmation. I remember it was probably it was the year Garrett Cole signed with the Yankees, and I was working it, and I'm like, something's not right because they said the lobby got really quiet in the hours before he signed. Like nobody was really talking to anybody. It wasn't usually when you get news of that stuff happening, we hear whispers like, hey, this is close to this. I'm hearing like it went dead silent for about 3-4 hours. Is that accurate from the people that were in the building?
Yeah, here's the thing. Full transparency here. I wasn't in the building the full time that was happening, but it was like a lull because I was doing other stuff. Like I got the news randomly also. That was another random situation. I went to go get In-N-Out Burger, and then like someone tweeted at me that like Paston was saying was gonna happen. I was like, oh fuck, all right. And then like I had to go back to the other hotel. Wow. I haven't stayed in the main hotel yet. Hopefully the next one I can.
Hopefully,
yeah. I haven't done that yet, which is it's a hassle. Like as you guys are understanding why. And it's not like it's that far, but it's still like a big thing to get to the hotel and like
I know. I've heard stories. Yeah,
it's not easy. But like, yeah, I have a few of those. But like so then I go to the burger quick. I see my friend tags me in this thing. I'm like, okay. Then I go back to the room and I walk back in, and then my friend's like, Garrett Cole signed, pass and tweet it. I was like, wow. I'm like, we got to go to the lobby. I'm like, here we go.
Wow, the story. I love the stories because you don't really get to hear a lot of these things. A lot of people, they tend to like maybe read it on Twitter, for example. So for those of you who are actually like Armand, for example, he's a guy who is heavily on Twitter. So maybe like he could actually put a picture along with the words that you're sharing to what's being discussed here tonight. But the other thing that I did want to mention is, could you talk about, because you've mentioned you've gone to the winter meetings 5 times overall, right?
Yeah.
So could you talk about, some of the relationships? Because Stefan is always emphasizing that networking is big, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the winter meetings, especially in the baseball world, sounds like the perfect place to be, especially if you're trying to build your network.
Absolutely.
Could you talk about some of the relationships that you've been able to build, perhaps at maybe an event like that? And also, perhaps maybe with players. I know more so on the reporting side, but I know there's quite a few players who have done interviews with you more than once. So that's why I asked that as well.
Yeah, so I've been lucky. I've definitely got to build some good relationships. Some friends have helped win me with people. Like Jack Curry's a good friend of mine now. Like Brian Hoke I've met out there. There's a lot of good reporters. Even the national guys, like I spoke with Rosenthal, so he'll remember. Like Robert Murray, I've talked with casually sometimes. There's been a few like JP I got this year, Morosi. Greg Amsiger's been great to me. MLB, kind of obviously you guys know him. Like as that's a multiple guest guy too. And then the players is like, it's like you try to talk to them, you try to see what's going on with them off the field a little bit too. Sometimes like Escara's a good friend of mine. And there's a few others in the minors that came up with sort of as I went from minors to majors with them. So that was fun. Like Austin Wells he'll recognize me, like Ben Rice. I haven't got a clip of Rice in the majors yet though, but that could change soon, hopefully. And then like I've been lucky, like just like talking and knowing people, explaining some stories. Like I definitely get to see a lot of people at the winter meetings, and it's the only time I see them, so I do enjoy going to them a lot because it's like the year. I view it as like the yearly reunion for MLB. Basically, that's how I view it. It's like I want to see what everyone's doing. Everyone wants to see what's up. Like who are you gonna get for the clips? Like who's gonna break the story? Like all that fun stuff. Like everyone's together in the same room, like talking, like sharing like stories, and it's really like inspiring stuff. So I always encourage anyone interested in baseball to go to the meetings, even without a pass. Like it's very fun and rewarding.
So if there's no lockout next year, bro, know what I mean? We gotta get these. We gotta get out there because
I know I want to go so badly, but I think we're screwed next year. Unfortunately,
I think we're screwed too. I think if
we're so upset.
We're lucky if we get anything in 28 as well, but.
No, we'll get 28. We'll be fine in 28. 20 next year's we're not having the winter meeting, so we'll get one in 28 though.
So let me ask you this: with all the work stoppage stuff, with all the stuff you're hearing, like what? Because I've heard some stuff. I don't know if you heard the same. It feels like we're destined to miss at least maybe more than half the season next year if we're lucky. It kind of feels like half the season could be up in smoke. And if we really want to get really dreary and damper and down, there's a chance that the whole 2027 could be gone, which is a frightening thought. But, like,
yeah,
where are you with it? Where are you with it? Because I heard that this is not going to be an easy, let's sing Kumbaya by the bonfire. There's some real animus on both sides. So where are you with it, and how do you see this shaking out?
I'm dreading it, honestly. I think it's going to be horrifically bad. I've been worried about it for years, if you want me to be honest with you. I think it's going to be terrible. I don't have the inside. I don't have inside information on this, but like I've talked to some people, and everyone has a consensus. But like, no one knows for sure. But the problems remain the same problems, and they don't get fixed. You have a huge balance of team spending like the Dodgers, and you have the Guardians and the Marlins not even breaking $100 million in the payroll, for instance. Like, that's just not sustainable in a sport for competitive balance. And like, I don't know how you fix that because you need a floor, yeah, but that comes with a cap, and the cap's a huge problem because the players are taught not to do a cap, but that's the number one principle and rule of the PA, and that's what they fought for years. So like, no player is going to go for the cap. And these small market teams are getting all pissy and annoyed about what's happening at the top. And I get it because I think some of it's OD with the Dodgers with the deferred payments and whatnot. And like sometimes the way the Mets have been spending a while, and now even the Blue Jays and the Yankees to a lesser degree, like some of the teams can't keep up. I get it. But they could also do a better job than what they're currently doing. And I think that's what gets lost in this mix. But it's going to be an ugly battle. Mm-hmm. You just have to hope that they're not dumb enough to actually lose money, because both sides will lose money without a season, obviously. So right. That's one saving hope that you have, that they'll want to figure something out, because no one wants to lose money. The COVID year was horrible. Everyone lost money that year. They don't want to see that happen again. So is it going to be a few months? Yeah, most likely. Can there be a scenario where maybe it's like 2022 and they don't start that late? I hope so. Could it be like a month or two? I mean, I guess. Is that the worst thing in the world? No, but it's the best. Not really. But if you can tell me right now if I would sign up for 1 or 2 months, I'd probably sign right now, just because that's how worried I am about it being worse than that. If you could say you get to decide right now, you take the risk of having the full season lost, or you can give up a month or two. I'll give up a month or two right now.
I think we all would. I mean,
listen, if that happens, the one thing that Major League Baseball better promise all of us is that that upcoming World Series in October better go 7 games. There might be a couple that go extra innings because, listen, we already know what to anticipate. So you got to leave us on the high, right? Would you agree?
Yeah, and the problem is, like, it's baseball's in such a good spot right now, too. That's why it's so annoying this is happening now. Like, you have so many working storylines and stars, and, like, some of these teams getting new attention that didn't get in the past, and, like, the ratings are at an all-time high because of the boom of the Japanese market and the Dodgers, and everyone's watching the Yankees and the Mets. Now Toronto's brought baseball back to life in Canada. Like, the game's growing globally with the WBC, and now, oh no, we're going to stop because we can't agree on money again. Great. That sounds wonderful to me.
So I got
no one ever.
Oh, that's that. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm taking the rain, thinking about it. It's wonderful.
I'm worried. I'm worried.
Listen, I brought this up. I've been talking about this since 2021. You
Yeah,
can
no,
ask,
we all knew it was coming because of what
you
happened last time, unfortunately.
it's
Yes.
and the thing that's ugly about this is, and I always put this in perspective, it's it's hard for the common man who is not working a regular job. I mean, who's
Yes.
working a regular job, who doesn't have millions of dollars to fall back on once you get
Yes.
back to working. It's hard to tell the person who's spending money to go to games, oh, it's okay. We'll make it through. Like, no, you can't spit in the consumer's face and tell them it's going to be okay. So I
I
guess
agree with you.
my only question to you is like, is there a point where either Tony Clark or Rob Manfred has to be the bigger person and say, listen, as much as we want the game to be financially at a place where we're all growing, there's a responsibility and a duty for both sides to get this right because, like you said, our ratings in the last two World Series have been phenomenal. You got the Classic coming up this year. The Dodgers are probably going to go for a three-peat. There's a lot of stuff happening in the game that's good. And for you to just all stop it because of greed and greed to the level that the common person doesn't understand is really tone deaf to me. So I kind of feel like Tony Clark is the person that needs to at least put his cards on the table. Rob Manfred, we know, is going to do the owner's bidding, but
Unfortunately, yeah.
Tony Clark hasn't been an angel in this either.
You're right. He's not been the best. I'll agree. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah.
it feels like Tony Clark has to get his house in order. And do you agree that there has to be some representation for the Latin players
Absolutely.
where there isn't now? Because I think that's the biggest problem is there's no representation for the Latin players. So is it on Tony Clark to bridge that gap first before we start to negotiate with the other side?
Yeah, I always want representation for the Latin players. I mean, I'm Cuban and Puerto Rican. It might not be hard to tell, but I am. So, I mean, I always want to see that be exemplified and be useful and everything. It's just like, I mean, he's supposed to represent everyone, but I get what you mean because it doesn't come off that way. I understand.
Right.
Tony Clark is not like, I don't know if he's the person I would choose to lead the PA. I'm not sure who the perfect leader is, but like he's definitely has some faults. I agree with you. He's definitely been very stubborn with certain stuff. Rob is kind of stuck because the owners are tying him by the sack for a lack of a better term. Sorry, but like balls. But yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's tough because like I don't know how they're going to negotiate this if sides want the cap and then they don't want the cap. Like, where's the compromise in that? Like, I don't know. Is there like a situation that you like just make the penalties way harder that like you don't want to go over anymore? Because obviously they're not harsh enough for the Dodgers, Mets, and even Yankees and other teams. Although it does stop Hal in certain situations, but it doesn't stop LA, it doesn't stop Steve Cohen, it's not stopping Toronto anymore. So, I mean, do you make those harsher? Do you raise a floor that these teams have to spend more money somehow? Do you expand the game because they want to expand? I don't know if that really helps.
Which I don't get
complicated, but
I don't get that.
I want baseball back in Montreal though. That would be fun if they could somehow do that.
Oh yeah.
But if you're going to expand, get a team back there. But yeah, it's a tough thing. I don't know. It's not going to be pretty, but I want to enjoy the season, and that's why, like you said, this could be the Yankees' last look, Ivan. Because if that spirals out of control, you don't know what's going to happen after that. Like that's why this could be the Yankees, and it's also because like they're tied for like their longest drought pretty soon since they won a ring of 18 years. They're getting close. It's been 16 now. So if they go out to 17 and they get locked out, then they're right in that 18 line if when they return or whatever. So like it technically could be more time in theory. So like this is a big year for them. It's kind of do or die in my opinion. That's why I'm not happy with how the offseason was handled as a whole, because I felt there should have been more urgency to it. And not just running it back. Oh, we're good. You know, we got unlucky. No, they got destroyed. Honestly, you weren't as good as you thought you were. You still aren't, I don't think. And now you're just gonna hope that things go your way again, like the last 16 years. No,
it's tough sell.
I'm not buying that either.
I have two more questions, but before I get into those, or before I pass it over to Stefan again, if you want to ask something else. I heard you mention that you're Cuban and Puerto Rican, right? I know we were just talking about some WBC there briefly with the tournament coming up. I always joke around with Stefan. I'm rooting for 3 teams. It
Yeah,
sounds crazy.
I
You
root
may
for
have
three
never heard
too. A
somebody
little
say that,
bit.
but
I root for
I'm
three
rooting
too. It's okay.
USA, Puerto Rico, and
Rico, yep.
Dominican Republic, right?
Cuba,
But I
yeah.
gotta ask you though, being Cuban and Puerto Rican, who would you like to see, deeper, as the tournament prolongs, or at least advances, rather, excuse me.
Okay, I'll give you my power rankings of how I root for these teams. So I root for USA just because I was born here, obviously. So I'm still gonna root for them first. But like when they played Cuba in the semis, that was tough, especially because they really beat them up. I was hoping for a more competitive game. I was like, that wasn't so fun. So and then I root for Cuba over PR, like a slight lean towards Cuba too, and Puerto Rico 3. And the reason why I'm going to the WBC for Puerto Rico is because they're in the same pool, and I just thought it would be a very cool cultural experience for me. So I specifically made sure to get to Puerto Rico for it. And I'm upset that both rosters are not what I was hoping they would be. So that's a little bit of a letdown to me, but I still want to see them play, obviously. I mean, Puerto Rico could still advance out of the group at least because they do have Lugo. Elmer Rodriguez might be not good for them. And like they do have some hitters, at least like Elliot Ramos and MJ Melendez with MLB experience. And I think I'm missing a few others. I think Rosario's playing with them, and I think Willie Castro. Arenado, there you go. Yes. So they have some life at least. They have some juice. Cuba doesn't have that at all. They have nothing. Cuba's coming winning with like a minor league baseball team, and it's very disheartening. So I wish they were more representative of what they could be. So that's upsetting. But maybe they'll pull a rabbit out of their hat and surprise us. So yeah, I'm a 3 teams WBC or 2. So I was rooting for US against Puerto Rico in the finals. That was tough the way they beat them too. I was like, because my cousin was upset. He's like, man, I wanted Puerto Rico. I was like, sorry, cuz. I was like, my Puerto Rican side. I was like, I was like, that was tough.
So, do you see? Because I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but I'm going to throw this out there, Ivan.
Go ahead.
Me and you have talked about it, Ivan, on the show, and I think you commented on the Instagram reel, Julian, where I said it feels like Major League Baseball wants to ensure that we get a United States Japan, we get a United States Dominican Republic. It doesn't feel like they want it. Because listen, Puerto Rico, you said they got some juice, right? But imagine if you threw Lindor in the mix, if you threw the full complement of players, this probably looks very different.
I want Baez, I want Correa. I'm upset they're not there. Don't get me wrong. Like I would have loved to see them do it. I mean, it wasn't their fault. They both wanted to play. They were vocal about it.
But I guess my question is, have we seen this many quote unquote insurance snafus? And why is the insurance snafu all with one particular team? There's no issues with Japan. There's no issues with the United States. There's no issues with any of these other teams. Why, particularly in your educated opinion, is it all Puerto Rico? Can you give me an idea?
Bro, I've been trying to dissect this for weeks, and I still don't have a full answer for you, but I'll try my best, I guess. I know Venezuela has some issues with Miguel Rojas as well, and the Dominican did not get Ellie De La Cruz, and they did lose a few guys, but they have so much talent and depth that they could withstand that. Puerto Rico doesn't have the same talent and depth pool as the DR or Venezuela has, so that's part of the issue. So the hits are harder when it happens to them, unfortunately. But there were some guys like Devers isn't playing for DR. Like Willie Adames don't even need them technically, but they are not playing. Like it's crazy how many people they have.
They have a B squad.
That's what I mean. Like
they got the C squad, bro. Forget it.
And Freddie Peralta, another example, but you could argue they need him because like the rotation's not the best, but like he could have helped. But that's a Mets thing, like not an injury issue. I get it. So like I think part of the problem goes back to what happened with Edwin Diaz. So teams didn't want that to happen again. Unfortunately, a one-time incident kind of ruins a lot of stuff. And he's actually playing, which is crazy about all this. He's the one going. Because he hasn't been hurt since, ironically enough, which is good. And he isn't for Puerto Rico. So that's some juice as well. So I'm happy he's playing, obviously, but at the same time, it is a wild situation when you try to dissect and unpack all this. Like, I brought this up about Byron Buxton. Like, Byron Buxton's a walking injured. How does he get insured? And then my friend's like, he doesn't have a 60-day IL stint or major surgery. I'm like, I guess, but he gets hurt when he rolls out of bed. I'm like, but he gets to play. And then another interesting thing, Pablo Lopez was very banged up, and he got to play. The Cardinals and then Gleyber Torres had a surgery. He's playing. So I don't understand like the standard of this. Like, are some teams just waiving the insurance? I don't know if that's what's going on. because I know the Diamondbacks are waiving it for Santana.
Yeah, he's playing for DR. Yeah,
he's a bench player, so he doesn't really have a risk of getting hurt that much. So they probably don't care as much. And then the Astros and thing, I think Jim Crane blocks like most of the Astros, honestly. Like I was saying the other day, like he didn't want any Astro playing. Like Shea Whitcomb's with Korea, I think, or something, and then Pena's on the bench for DR, so he probably doesn't care as much. Like I think that was part of the Correa problem too. I think he didn't want him to play. Like you see how Yainer Diaz got pulled out. They're saying he has all these injuries in camp. So I mean,
he has all these injuries in camp, and he caught Imai's bullpen today. So there goes that.
No, I know.
There goes that. Like, you're banged up. But you caught Imai's bullpen, so you're not as banged up as you were all led to believe.
Yeah, I know.
My other thing, and I don't mean to be the guy that just sits here and yells on my lawn or yells "get off my lawn," but it just feels like we pick and choose. All right, what's important, who can play and who can't. The Byron Buxton thing, me and Ivan talked about the moment it came out. I was like, how is that guy insured? That guy is more injured than me, and I sit in a wheelchair all day. Like. it's amazing, and he got insured. And I'm sitting here wondering, I'm like, if you're the Twins, how do you let him do this? How do you let Pablo Lopez pitch?
Yeah, I really wonder about Pablo a lot.
And you're trying to because they're going to end up trading both those players. I don't care.
You would think,
I don't care what Twins ownership says.
I agree with you 100%. Both of them got to go. Yeah, they got to rebuild that thing. Yeah,
both of those players could bring back immense value, and if one of them gets seriously injured playing in the tournament, what are we doing here?
I agree. I'm surprised as well. Both of them, I am a lot, especially with Pablo because he had the few things last year. And now Buxton's definitely going to have to start because Carroll's out. So if there was any question he was starting, that's been erased now. And the WBC thing is wild. Like I hope they fix the situation for 2029. Like I said, I mean, it's tough to analyze what's going on there. I don't really have like the best answers for that. I wish I knew more about it. I'll try to learn more about it when I go to Puerto Rico. I'll see if I figure anything out because as I always try to learn new things wherever I go, and I'll talk to some people and see what they tell me about if I can get like a real answer about what happened. Like I want to inject some more truth center and be like, what happened with this Puerto Rican team?
Because
go ahead. I'll wait.
No, real quick, Ivan. Did you hit? And this is gonna end. This is gonna transition because I just want to ask you this question.
Go ahead.
Did you hear what Alex Correa said in terms of he was hearing that they were having insurance issues before they even tried to put the team together? This was the thing that they were dealing with before.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he gave an interview where he said,
I gotta watch that.
Insurance has been a thing since the beginning of us trying to put this team together. So now that we have that revelation that's now have been let out the bag,
that's odd.
Does it change? That is odd, but does it change the way we look at the tournament moving forward? Because if there's always going to be one or two teams that have issues getting players insured, is this tournament fair? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't know.
We might have to start giving other countries a shot too, right?
I guess. Like. And Julian, this is why it goes back to you. It's like, can you say that the tournament's somewhat compromised because you have significant teams that are not able to put out competitive rosters? Puerto Rico's pretty significant.
Yeah, and they're hosting too, and they threaten. The only reason they even got more guys in is because they threatened to back out. They were going to block like so many more people, and they were able to get guys in because they threatened to back out. Wow. So that's why they let the other guys in. They just couldn't get it through with Baez because that was like a stupid loophole thing. But like Correa's that was probably crazy. Lindor, as we see now, obviously shouldn't be playing. In fairness, should not be playing at all. But we didn't know that at the time with the hamate thing. It's tough. PR is definitely compromised. Like they could still get out of the group maybe, but it's going to be harder. They probably won't do much damage in the elimination rounds. Although the one silver lining is that Jose Barrios could pitch for them if they got to the elimination round because he's on their reserve list. So if they get to Miami, he can throw, or Houston, and they'll go to Houston if however they place in the pool. He could throw for them at least. So that's good. But yeah. It's tough. especially for the Puerto Rican fans. I want to see Baez, Montoya, and Correa. Like, it could have been their last ride together because Baez is getting up there potentially. Although Baez could probably do one more, maybe. Depends. But what it would look like. There's no Kike because he's legitimately hurt, obviously, so it's a different story. But that would have been big. That would have been a big one too.
Speaking of Puerto Rico, you did tell us earlier tonight that you are going to be over there to cover some games during the tournament. But I got to ask you, because to get to Puerto Rico, you got to travel, right? And you have something interesting in your bio on IG that states that you've actually been to 23 out of the 30 major league ballparks. Could you talk about that? And are there any others that are going to be added to your list now in 2026?
Yeah, thanks for that shout. I love doing that. The ballpark passion is how the baseball journey really started for me in a sense because I started going to them when I was small, like doing other ones with the family and doing trips around them. So like when I grew up, I started to make my own trips, and now I got to even go to work at some of these games with credentials and stuff. But it's been very rewarding. I would say there's definitely a lot of new stuff. Like I got to go back to stadiums I went to as a kid with media passes now out of New York, so that was very cool to me. The first time, I think this is actually going to be an interesting one, and I'm about to fact check myself and see. I think the first time, I think this year was finally my first time seeing a new stadium as credential media. When I went to Kansas City, I'd never been there prior, and I was the media member. I think that was the only stadium I've done that with. That was my first appearance as a media member going to a new park. I think I'm gonna have to really think about that later. I'm almost sure. I'm like 99% sure that's true. So that was interesting. And then yeah. So what do I want to do this year? I hope I could kill them all. Honestly, if everything goes well, I'm gonna kill them all. But I don't know if I'll definitely do it. I hope so. We got to see how I can line things up. If finance is looking like where I can go for what and who and this and why and when and all this other stuff. But ones that I'll definitively say I have a good chance of doing are Chicago and Milwaukee, probably at least because I've been dying to go to Chicago. The Yankees have that set against the White Sox and the Cubs this year, so I think there's a good chance I can make that happen. And Milwaukee is only 2 hours away, so that's a nice 3 set right there. I do want to go back to Coors Field because I never saw a game there. I only did the All-Star game, so it wasn't like the Rockies playing, so I want to see them actually play. Safeco's tough because that's out of the way. I have to try somehow. I've heard it's great, but it's so far. Minnesota's another one in the middle of nowhere. Haven't gone there yet. Cincinnati, I'm surprised I actually haven't because I've literally gone to everywhere around it, but there. I've never gotten close enough yet, so maybe I could try to get that. That's not that far, really. I'm not gonna do Sacramento because that's just like I'm gonna wait till I go to Vegas.
Way to go to Vegas, yeah. You can you can get a steak on the strip and gamble. Yeah,
no, I'm not gonna go with Sac because it's some AAA ballpark, so I'm good on that. And I'm trying to think what other one I didn't do. Let me think. Brewers, both Chicago's, Seattle, Oakland, wherever they end up, Cincinnati. I think I'm missing one random one. Crap, I gotta think really quick. I did Arizona, I did San Diego, LA, Giants, yes. I think there's
Central.
It might, yeah, I think it is actually. Brewers, I gotta do. I did Pirates, I did Cardinals, Cubs, and Reds, and Brewers. There's 3 in the Central.
3 Central teams, and then the Mariners.
Mariners 4. I think that might be it. Okay. Twins 5. Rockies 6, Rockies isn't 6. Oakland 6, wherever they ends up, and then Cincinnati. Yeah, so I think that covers
7. But we're counting the Athletics as TBD.
Yeah, they have an asterisk on it for sure. So we're gonna have to get to 29 before they move to Vegas. Basically.
My final question, Julian, because you've given us a lot of time and we greatly appreciate it. My final question to you is: if you had a message for young Julian, what would your message be? And if you had a message to any young journalists, aspiring journalists that want to do this for a living, what would your message to them be?
It's a good question because, I actually have thought about this a little bit because, I tried to go back in time and see, how I would be feeling about certain stuff that took place. I would say, to myself, I would say I was pretty happy probably in that keep going and do what you want to do and figure it out. I'd probably tell myself to apply myself harder in school and do certain things differently, obviously, and don't be afraid to take the chances earlier in your career, maybe like that I took later in the life. And I would be happy to say that I did accomplish most of the stadiums already in my life. So I'd be very thrilled with that part of it. And then I would just say to the youngins, like, you got to scrap, and it's not going to be easy. And like the thing is that's difficult, and I'm still going through it. Honestly, is like I'm hoping to fully fix it this year. It's like getting the income for like the work I'm putting in the sense of like making sure it's good enough to fully go through stuff and not just have to like go trip by trip, like just to like have a better base and foundation. But that's probably a lesson I would have told myself to try to save certain things and sacrifice certain things. Sometimes I just want to do too much and it like burns me a little bit. But I would just say you got to work really hard and be ready to be rejected. But like know that people are watching when you don't think, and like a lot of people might accept what you want to do, and it just takes one person to open the door. Like a lot of people have been gracious with their time to me and like have tried to help me climb these steps and pillars, and like and it's definitely been a rewarding process. Like the hardest thing is finding like a big company that wants to pay for writing A, and B is like having someone that wants to fully consistently have you in their staff. Like these jobs are so limited and coveted, like the one I'm trying to chase basically. Like being a team reporter or even like a freelance guy for like a company is like, if you think about it, not that many people have those jobs. Like there's 30 major league baseball teams, and like I'm lucky enough to have been able to cover a good amount of them, even if I didn't get fully comped for, just to have the opportunity to do it. And like one day it should all benefit me and it ends more than it has so far, I think. And that's probably the best way to sum it up.
That's a great.
Yeah.
That's a great way to end the
I
interview.
I got one final question. But it's also a part two, to go along with what was already said. How long have you been a reporter now, Julian? Not just that, when did the love for baseball begin? And the reason why I ask that is because, for example, I have been watching since very young. I didn't start playing till around like maybe 9 years old. I stopped playing at the high school level. Stefan, I'm sure he's been watching since day one of being out the womb. But for you, Julian, what would you say in regards to those two things?
It started when I was a baby, basically. Like I was like playing ball when I was like 4 or 5 years old, probably. I
Mm.
played through high school and into college. I wish I was able to, but it just wasn't really in the cards for me. And then, yeah, I started watching ball when I was like 10 or 9, actually understanding what was taking place in the field, probably. So it's just progressed since then. And then, like, my career path kind of started like a little bit after I graduated school, but it wasn't done like the traditional way that like most people do it, probably. Which is I've actually learned I'm not the only one that's gone this unconventional route in this industry. But I wasn't like I didn't go to a top school. I didn't go to like I didn't get this crazy internship. Like I didn't have like anything handed to me or laid out for me really. I just went and did it kind of on my own for a while, and then people tried to help me up along the way. So I started down like 2018, like by myself, just like doing tweet reports basically with nothing attached to it. And then like I started to put it on like Facebook and Instagram a little bit. Um, from like 2018 to 2019, or like 2019 to 2021, I was really just like doing fan stuff in a sense, but like with the eye I'm building towards the reporting. Like I didn't have any credentials really. I think late in 2021, I actually ended up getting my first ones for like minor league ball, and then it was like the Marlins was the first major league team I covered actually. So that was in 2021. Then in 2022, I got like a full thing to Somerset for so that's like built up a lot of stuff. And I think I did Mets that year as well.
Mm.
I wasn't able to do Yankees yet. 2023, I did my first spring training. That was Yankees, and then like I did a few games. I think only one actually, believe it or not. But like, um, it was definitely an interesting ride along the way because like a lot of stuff happened, and then like 24, I did more games, and I started. Then last year I did more. So it's been a progression of certain things, and now it's like I'm trying to get to that point where I'm fully established, and hopefully, like something breaks through this year. I'm like trying to fix. I'm trying to change a lot of stuff within the next 2 months on the fly. Honestly, like the stuff you're seeing now might not be fully what takes place in a little while. Like I'm working on something big. I just have to land it. We'll see.
There you go.
Wow. Well, hopefully, we get first dibs on sharing the news here, Julian.
Well, that news is gonna have to become from me. It's not gonna come from anyone else. But
I hear you, bro.
but I'll you'll know when it happens if it happens. Obviously.
Definitely, for sure. We'll be looking out for it. And listen, we'll definitely catch you down the road. We definitely want to, you're definitely going to see us more at the winter meetings, and we're going to be at more ballparks. And so we're going to catch you down the road. It was great doing this with you. Thank you for your time. You were so generous. We appreciate it. And we'll talk to you down the road. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. My final shouts, I'll say, like they said, sub to my channel, Julian Guilarte Show. I'm getting close to 600, so if we could push towards 6, that would be great. I'm going to spring training next week, but not where people would expect me to be. So stay tuned for that. But I will pop in at one Yankees game, though, so I'll say that much. That's next week I'm going. So sub to my channel. On Twitter, it's Julian Guilarte1. Instagram is Julian Guilarte 11, and TikTok you search my name and I will square up with you guys in there too. I thought I had you, but I'll check. And then Facebook I'm also there too, but it's kind of more of like the Instagram parallel thing, but like I'm trying to do some organic posting. I have a Patreon and some other stuff I'm trying to work on, so like there's a lot of stuff in the works. I appreciate you guys giving me an opportunity to like share with your audience tonight, and I hope we get to meet soon, and then like hopefully we get some new traction with each other and cross promote or whatever and see what we could do.
Sounds good. We got to do your show one of these days, man. So the door's open whenever you want us to come on. We'd love to come on, and we got to do your show. Thank you for doing ours. We appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm definitely willing to set that up. I gotta see how that's all gonna look. My co-host is actually gonna be off for a little while, and like someone else wants to hop in, so I'll let you guys know. I promise we'll make it happen at some point. You got my word on it, so we'll cook it. So, I like giving it back too, so it's cool.
Sounds good, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, guys.
Before we leave, friendly reminder: Julian's YouTube channel link is down below in the description,
guys.
And you could also follow him on IG as well. So there's that.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And I think I retweeted your thing on YouTube or shared it. I saw you guys tag me. I tried to share it. I'm not like that savvy with that type of stuff on YouTube, but no, I think I did share it.
We saw the share. We appreciate it, Julian. Thank you so much. And
yeah, I'm still trying to build a community on YouTube a little bit. I don't really do much in there. I couldn't just post videos, so I gotta probably do more on there.
We got it. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. All right.